Great. So, welcome to this webinar. Where we're going to be talking about online ads in higher education. We have a great lineup today. And to start with, I am your host, Oliver Matthews. I'm the founder at 4Uni Solutions. And I've been working in higher education in marketing recruitment for the last 20 years. And now I work with different universities, helping them to maximize their impact in the market. And today I'm going to introduce our first speaker, Luca from Google. So, Luca, over to you if you'd like to give a quick introduction.
Thank you, Oliver. Hi, everyone. I'm Luca Atti, and I've been working in Google for 10 years within the ads professional services team. And before that, I worked at Cisco and HP in other IT-related verticals like networking, cloud, and software as a service. I'm currently based in Dubai, but I am originally from Italy. Very glad to be with you today. Up to you, Akbar.
Thank you so much, Luca. Hi, everyone. My name's Akbar Gaffor. I work at Full Fabric and have a history in working in advertising and marketing. Delighted to be here today, presenting various topics for you, and look forward to sharing some more in a bit. Back to you, Oliver.
Great. Thank you very much. So, our topic today is actually one that I know that many of my peers around the industry have either struggled with, we've worked on. It's this key question about how we spend our money, how we maximize our advertising spend, and some of the critical questions we have. For example, the age-old one: to print or not to print. How much of our money should we still be spending on print, and how much of it should we have transferred over to online marketing? This is a typical one as well. Search engine or display ads. Going a little bit closer into when we're dividing up the cash, how much of that budget goes search or display? I know I know from experience, there's no easy answer to this. We're probably going to put Luca on the spot a bit later with this one. Organic versus paid. In a perfect world, all of our traffic comes from organic. We've got such amazing SEO. You have no need to spend any money. The reality is, it's not quite that simple. So again, how much of our time and energy and resource go on to paid? And the last question, another critical one: are your ads being managed internally, or do you employ an agency to do so? And if you have the agency, how do you manage them best? How do you get the most out of it? And how do you retain oversight? We'll be looking at some key questions at the end here. So what are we covering today? We have the online ads ecosystem. We're going to start off with an overview of what's out there, what's available. We'll go into depth then on Google Ads, Google Analytics, the measurement. We have the lead and conversion tracking, getting really deep into how this works. And last and most importantly, maximizing your return on investment. And that's really what the key metric here is. How do you make sure you get that ROI from your ad spend? And as we're going through, if you have questions, drop them into the Q&A. So I'll be collecting the questions. I'll be feeding them to our two guest speakers, Luca and Akbar, at the end. So as they come up, add them in there. We won't necessarily get to all of them. I'm going to take the most relevant, and if anything gets missed, we'll either answer directly or we can follow up afterwards. So without more ado, we're going to move straight over to our first speaker. Akbar, over to you.
Thank you, Oliver. Hi, everyone again. Delighted to be covering an overview of the online ads ecosystem as it touches our industry in higher education. Now, Mahatma Gandhi said that live as if you were to die tomorrow, learn as if you were to live forever. And many of Full Fabric's customers attract applicants from all stages of the generational spectrum. And many of you are starting to realize that interest in your core offering is beyond traditional degree programs and kind of evolving now into more experiential learning and short programs. We also know that a tech generation gap exists, and we've all learned that the best way to reach each generation is to understand what kind of advertising works for them. For example, millennials primarily engage with social media, apps, and brands that care about social issues. Gen X prefer to discover products through search, TV ads, and specific social media platforms like Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Now, these trends make social media an important investment for companies hoping to reach digital natives. So my question to you is, where are your future students most likely spending their time? Our customers also tell us that their ad strategy is multi-pronged and spend normally is divided across one or more of these key areas. With budget constraints, it is important to focus on areas where you can maximize applicant conversion. This is why data quality and measurement play a really important role in developing the top, middle, and bottom of your funnels, especially when marketing online. Now, pressure from regulators and consumers has led many within the tech industry to declare third-party cookies, and the targeted ads fueled by them will soon come to an end. For example, Apple Safari and Mozilla's Firefox now block third-party cookies by default. Google Chrome has started to experiment this year for 1% of traffic, and the industry expects this phase out to continue. This presents an important industry challenge, not just for us in higher ed, but for every company wanting to target relevant ads based on behavior, and also in cases to measure and attribute online ad performance. So what should you ensure your teams are focusing on? I'd like to share the state of play currently in the online ads ecosystem, and also offer some industry guidance on where you may want to focus. Now, the good news is that many of you will actually relate to these activities I'm about to share, but hopefully will also provide some quick food for thought. Firstly, and no pun intended, it is important to continue to build your first-party data, i.e. data that you collect and own and not through third parties. Many full fabric customers have started to already do this by what we call enhancing data collection, including having a laser focus on collecting data directly from your audience through your own platforms, such as your websites, apps, and application portals. This includes leveraging your forms, your surveys, and any direct interactions you may have. It's also worth thinking about how you might improve the user experience. And I know, having looked at your websites, many of you already offer value in terms of sharing brochures in exchange for a prospective applicant's details. What else can you offer in exchange for this data is something to think about. Also, best practices in this space revolve around personalized experiences and providing additional educational resources. Sorry, I've lost my slides here for a second. Apologies. Just trying to get this back. What's next? Sorry about this. My screen's just switched off. I think the hackers have got me. Second. Where's that gone? All right, I'll move on. Hopefully you can see the next screen, which is about customer relationship management and data management platforms. So many of your CRM platforms, including CRM platforms that you use with Full Fabric, make a big difference in the day-to-day that you interact with your customers. And I think what's really important here is leveraging your CRMs in the best possible way, making sure that you use all the insights and opportunities that you can to make sure that you leverage all the interesting ideas and analysis that you can make from the applications that you're getting. Another really interesting area in the online ads ecosystem that many of you might not be familiar with and might want to look into are data management platforms and DMPs. Now, data management platforms allow you to actually leverage your first-party data so that you can use that data to serve personalized ads within your own web collateral. So it could be your websites, it could be your apps, or it could be any other collateral that you own online. Leveraging data management platforms is something the best-in-class universities are doing today around the world, And it's something worth looking into, especially in how you can use DMPs with products like Google Ad Manager, which start at free and leverage that to focus on personalized ads. This is a no-brainer. Many of you do this already, contextual targeting. And I want to mention this because this is going to become more and more important, because the industry is predicting that with the deprecation of third-party cookies, what you'll find is that contextual targeting will play a bigger part in this. So making sure that you understand where your agencies or any in-house teams are focusing their efforts in terms of contextual targeting and having a say in that is going to remain important. Also, strengthening your email marketing begins by ensuring that you have really solid email lists, which are kept up to date, and any stale applicants that really may no longer be interested are cleaned up regularly. But what we've seen is that the best-in-class universities that get the most conversion personalize their emails by leveraging, again, their CRM and the data that they've collected to make sure those emails really focus on that individual student. And we've seen that conversions increase when we have interaction from students that are personalized in nature. And finally, it's no longer an option to focus on just not having a privacy policy. And this is going to be really important, not just now and yesterday, but moving forward. As more and more governments become privacy conscious, as they are today across the world, it's going to be important that we focus and not just focus on our existing collateral, but any future collateral that we create where we have clear privacy policies on our websites that are compliant with the territories that we're working within. Also, consent management is going to continue to be important, and Full Fabric customers know this really well because we've managed consent within the product. For those of you not using Full Fabric, you'll want to keep an eye on making sure that when you do manage applications, that consent is managed appropriately. And again, your legal duties for your end users are checked off. Now, we're going to be covering lots and lots of these topics and ideas throughout the course of the next few months, and we're going to be taking some deep dives as well. So do stay tuned for our updates and our emails on future webinars where we'll be diving deeper in all these topics that I've mentioned. But right now, I'm really excited to go on to the webinar and our technology partner with Google, Luca, who's going to present his section. So Luca, thanks for joining us, and over to you.
My pleasure, and thank you so much, Akbar and Oliver, for having me. Hi, everyone. I'm really glad to be with you today. And today we will discuss about Google Ads and analytics and the importance of leads and conversion tracking. And as you can see, this is the content that I will cover today. I'll introduce Google Advertising Solutions, how to use Google Ads and Google Analytics to track leads and conversions. And we'll close up with a few tips and best practices for getting the most out of your campaigns. The aim by the end of this presentation is for you to have a high-level understanding on how to use Google's tools to measure and improve your advertising results, and what are the top questions to ask your team or your agency for keeping your ROI on track. So, the Google Ads ecosystem includes, as you can see, many platforms, data sources, and metrics. This slide provides a brief overview of several of them, but today we will mostly focus on Google Ads as a buying and measurement platform, and Google Analytics as a more advanced measurement tool. So Google Ads, previously known by Google AdWords, is an advertising self-service platform made by Google for businesses wanting to have search, display, and video campaigns on Google and its advertising network. The Google Ads platform enables businesses to set a budget for advertising and only pay when people actually interact with their ads. Google Analytics 4 measures traffic and engagement across websites and apps. It includes privacy controls, modeling, predictive capabilities, and direct integration to media platforms. GA4 is not only about ads, but also about how your user behave and how to inform your marketing strategy to get the best results according to your business objectives. Let's dive now into what is measurement and why it's important. So measurement is key to understanding how people interact with your ads and services. Without measurement, you won't have visibility into your digital investments or their impact on revenue. This impacts your ability to optimize campaigns and make informed decisions about budget allocation. Ultimately, measurement ensures that data integrity is there and allows for effective management of your marketing efforts. Many things can be measured in a marketing campaign. However, today our focus will be on measuring conversions. First, let's define what conversions are. Conversions are a fundamental measurement building block. A conversion is an action that is counted when a user interacts with your ad, for example, clicks or views, and then the user takes an action that you have defined previously as valuable to your business. Example of conversion can include online purchases, phone calls to your business, newsletter sign-ups, form submission, etc. And conversion tracking helps evaluate the performance of the ads served by Google Ads platform. And by measuring conversions, clients can see how efficient their ads are at achieving their business goals. So there are many benefits in tracking conversions for marketing campaigns. Conversion tracking allows you to identify which keywords, ads, ad groups, and campaigns are the most effective at driving valuable user activity. And by understanding your ROI, return of investment, you can make more informed decisions about your ad spend. For example, if you are gaining $10 in online purchases for every $1 spent on advertising, you might decide to increase your ad spend. Flexible bid strategies like targeting cost per action or CPA, enhancement of cost per click CPC, and targeting ROAS, return on advertisement spending, can automatically optimize your campaign based on your business goals. And this automation simplifies campaign management and help you to achieve better results. Conversion tracking reveals also how customers interact with your ads across different devices and browsers. For instance, you might find that a user click on your mobile ads, but then ends up in converting on desktop, highlighting the importance of a good mobile experience for your users. So let's quickly look at how conversion tracking work. So with the help of the tag implementation technical team, a conversion tracking tag or code snippet will be added to each defined action on your website, on the customer website. So when a client clicks on an ad and completes a defined action, the system will recognize it through the added tags. At that point, Google will record the action as a conversion and feed it into your Google Ads account, which will use this information to make a better decision about who to show your ads to. The more conversion data you have and you collect, the more efficient your ads will be to achieve your business objectives. And with today's AI technologies embedded in Google platform, having a good volume and quality data is key to let the platform actually helping you by automatically adjusting bidding according to what are your business objectives. After tags are implemented, is very useful to look at the Google Ads status report to check that everything is working and the conversions are properly tracked and recorded in the platform. And you can see the status column that will show how your conversion actions are performing. And there are three different statuses. Active, meaning that the conversion action is recording the conversion properly. Needs attention in case there are action items to address. And not recording, meaning that the Google system hasn't received a ping from your conversion measurement tag in over 24 hours. This could indicate a problem with the tag implementation for you to review. The conversion report, this is another report, right? The conversion report is the most important report to check your conversion numbers and extract some insights. So in your Google Ads account, you will need to click in the goals icon and then click the conversion drop down in the section menu and then click summary. And here are the most utilized conversion columns that you can look at. So the first one is conversion, the total number of conversions selected in your bidding optimization and attributed to your ads. Then you have all conversions, which is the total number of conversion from all conversion actions, including those that were not selected for bidding optimization. Then you're going to have a conversion by conversion time, meaning those conversion reported based on when they happened, not when the ad was clicked. Then you have conversion value, which is the total monetary value of all conversions. And lastly, cost per conversion, which is the average cost to acquire each conversion. Going into the segment data report, which is another very powerful tool that allows you to slice and dice your campaign data into meaningful groups, we can say that by segmenting your data, you can uncover hidden trends, identify top performing areas and pinpoint areas for improvement, right? And this will help you to make data-driven decisions to optimize your campaign and maximizing your ROI. You can segment your reports by specific conversion actions to see how each action will perform. So conversion action name, in this case, is the specific name you've given to each conversion action, for example, purchase or lead form submission. Then you have a conversion action category, which is the broader category of your conversion action, for example, sales, leads, or page views. Additional useful conversion segment that you might look at are conversion source, meaning where the conversion measurement originated, for example, the website or the app or a phone call. And then lastly, you have conversion lag, which is the time that it takes for a user to convert after interacting with your ad. So you can see very useful elements in these main reports that I've been showing you. And this slide actually covers the most utilized metrics in Google Ads conversion reporting, and there are tons of them. For a successful campaign, it's very important for you to understand first what are your business goals, what are your marketing goals, and finally, what are the top key metrics that you will measure success with. Here you can see, for example, in the slide, the cost per conversion, CPC, which is the average cost of each conversion. You can see conversion rate, how often an ad interaction leads to a conversion, CTR or click-through rate, the percentage of impression that results in click, and then CPC, cost per click, very common metric. And then you have view through conversion, VTC, and return of ad spending we mentioned before. ROAS is very important because it will show revenue generated for each dollar spent on advertising. And before we go into the next slide, I want to give a very, very quick example of ROAS calculation. Imagine that you spend $500 on Google Ads and you generate $2,000 in revenue. In this case, your ROAS return of advertisement spending would be 400%, meaning that you earned $4 for every $1 spent on ads. Okay, so if we go to the previous slide, I think, Akbar, yes. So here you can see there are a few best practices for analyzing conversion with Google Ads that you might consider. So first, you can ensure conversion tracking is properly set up in Google Ads to make sure that you are collecting actually data. That is very important, right? Second, you can define the top business insight questions that are important for you, and then find the right report in the platform to help you answer those business-related questions. Then you can look for patterns and trends in conversion data to identify areas for improvement. And lastly, you can segment the data to compare the performance of different campaigns, ad groups, keywords, devices, and location for future optimization targets. So Google measurement solutions are multifaceted with diverse platform data sources and metrics. We can collect data through tags, imports, API for offline conversion as an example, meaning those purchases or actions that are actually done in physical stores, right? Privacy-centric measurement is key, allowing you to collect, analyze, and visualize data while respecting user privacy and with user consent. There are many different metrics, as we said, available at any different level and with multiple measurement tools, depending on the marketing maturity where you actually are today. This diversified measurement approach provides a comprehensive view of campaign effectiveness and supports data-driven optimization. So heightened privacy concerns and evolving regulation, including the phasing out of third-party cookies, have fundamentally transformed the landscape of conversion measurement, demanding new approaches and strategies from marketers in the face of diminished data availability. So as a result of the changes in the ecosystem, Google Analytics 4 has been designed to provide advanced measurement tools to stay competitive in an environment in which future is consented, first party, and modeled. And when I say model, I mean using AI to enhance your first party data with modeling to fill in the gaps from cookie loss and measurement restriction. And I would like to reiterate what Akbar explained before. As a reminder, first-party data, again, is the information that you collect directly from your customers and audience, while third-party data is data that is collected by third-party entity and then sold or shared. And GA4 allows marketers to also preserve behavioral measurement, meaning how users utilize the website or app while respecting user privacy. This is a very important slide because GA4 and Google Ads are designed to work seamlessly together, making it easy to share data and insights between the two platforms. This will streamline your workflow and allow you to make data-driven decisions faster. So first, enhanced conversion tracking, meaning GA4 will allow for more accurate and comprehensive conversion tracking across multiple platforms and devices. And by linking GA4 with Google Ads, you will be able to track the entire customer journey from ad click to conversion, gaining deeper insights into which campaigns and keywords are driving the most valuable action for you. Then improved audience targeting, meaning GA4 enables you to create highly targeted audiences based on user behavior, demographics, and interests. You can then import these audiences into Google Ads to reach users who are most likely to convert with tailored messaging and bidding strategies. And then with the similar audience modeling feature of GA4, you could find new customers with similar characteristic to your existing one. Lastly, deeper business insight and analysis, because combining GA4 and Google Ads will provide a holistic view of your marketing performance. You can analyze how your ads impact the website traffic, engagement, and conversion, allowing you to identify areas for improvement and optimize your campaigns more effectively. With behavior modeling, you could also understand and predict user behavior to optimize your future marketing strategies. This slide outlines some strategic questions that Google Analytics 4 combined with Google Ads can help you answer. User acquisition behavior, for example. Which channels are the most effective for bringing in new users? Where do users drop off in the conversion funnel is a first important question. Second, about conversion and revenue. Which campaigns have the highest ROI? What are the top converting landing pages? Are some examples of questions in this area. Third, website and app performance. Top questions like which pages have a high bounce rates or low engagement, and how can, for example, user experience be improved? And lastly, questions about marketing campaign effectiveness. Are remarketing campaigns successful in re-engaging users and driving conversions? How do different marketing channels will contribute to my overall goals? These are very important questions, but now let's dive into some tips about how you can get the most out of your Google Ads marketing. So before creating a Google Ads strategy, you need to know your target audience. This includes understanding their demographics, interests, behavior, pain point, online habits, the keyword that they use to search for your product or services, and what motivates them to make a purchase. You will also need to define clear objectives for your campaigns. For example, what do you want to achieve with your advertising? Do you want to increase brand awareness, or maybe you want to drive website traffic, or you want to generate leads or boost sales? These are examples. The key message is that defining clear objective is a very key activity and will help you to create targeted campaigns that are more likely to achieve your desired results. And as an example, for your reference context in higher education, this is just an example, your demographics could be working graduate over 21 with a strong interest in career growth. And the top search keywords to consider could be MBA, executive MBA, online MBA, or even MBA salary. And your business objective in this example could be grow student admissions for MBA program for 2025. In this case, the marketing objective, the media objective, and campaign objective would actually depend on the stages of the marketing funnel you'd like to focus on. Are they on awareness, consideration, driving action, So depending on this, you will implement the optimal campaign strategy. And finally, to invest wisely in digital marketing, first you need to figure out how much you need to earn from each sale in order to make a profit, right? Then use your own data to make sure your marketing is bringing in more profitable sales than unprofitable ones. Here's how. First tip is about starting small. Begin by making small changes to your current ROS, return on ad spend. Second, test and learn. See how these changes affect your overall profit. Third, find a sweet spot. So once you find your ROAS target that gives you the best profit, you can stick with it. And at the end, you can scale up. And now that you know what works, you can expand your advertising and making your ad strategy more efficient. Finally, one last word about choosing the right agency or partner, as Oliver was mentioning at the beginning, is a critical decision that can significantly impact your marketing success. Here is what to look for in a nutshell. First, demonstrated experience and success in your specific field, of course, is a very important point. Having also an history of achieving results for clients with measurable outcome is something good to ask. And then most important is about setting regular and clear communication and agree on detailed reporting on campaign performance according to the KPI, key performance indicator that you defined to measure your success. And lastly, a fee structure agreeing with them, like a fee structure that fits your budget and is free from hidden fees or last-minute surprises. These are the top tips that I can give you in this area. And for today, it's all on my end. So thank you so much. And Oliver, back to you. Thanks everyone for listening, and I hope it was interesting.
Okay, thank you so much, Luca, and thank you as well, Akbar. There was a lot of information in there. I mean, I think that was really helpful for a lot of people. And I do have a first couple of questions coming in already. First one, actually, let's go to Akbar on this one. So AI was mentioned a few times by both of you, actually, in terms of measurement, in terms of the analytics. But what part is AI going to play in ad creation, in say keyword management in the creation stage?
Yeah, great question. Something that definitely it's top of mind for many people for at least the last 12 months. I was going to quickly go onto ChatGPT to find the answer, Oliver, but have tempted to stay away from that for now. I'll give you a real-time response. So look, my background is also in tech and marketing and advertising, and many people don't know that actually AI has been around behind the scenes in the online ad space for years. And Google, and Luca can affirm this as well, is Google actually already uses AI in its ads infrastructure and rolled out something around 18 months ago called PMax, so P for Papa and Max, M-A-X, P-M-A-X. I would encourage people to go away after this webinar and digest that keyword and just Google it, because that particular algorithm, which has been leveraging AI for the last 18 to 24 months, actually is going to be important, but not everyone is using PMax today if you are spending some of your money in terms of your budget on Google. So a good thing to do if you do use an in-house team or if you use an agency is to ask them, how are we leveraging PMax, P for Papa, MAX? If they don't know what you're talking about, then you need to kind of think twice around whether or not you have enough of the insights and capability with the team that you're working with, and make sure they build that capability if they're in-house and they don't know about it, because I think PMax is important. I think the other thing to mention about AI, and you know what, Oliver, we can have a whole webinar session, and we will, on AI and how AI is going to impact higher ed, not just in ads and marketing, but in other areas as well. And we're working on something, everyone behind the scenes. But what I will say, and if you're in a meeting with your superiors or with other colleagues later on today or later on this year, what you want to tell them about AI is it's going on beyond this whole Gen AI or generative AI experience, and it's becoming multimodal. So those of you familiar with, Google's Gemini Advanced or Google's Gemini or ChatGPT, ChatGPT and Google are becoming multimodal. What does that mean? That means everyone beyond is going beyond text, which is what we started off with in terms of all the hype beyond Gen AI. And we're going into images and video. So in the very near future, you're going to start creating your online advertising and marketing collateral, if not already, not just going from text to image, but actually going from text to video. And that's going to be really interesting. So OpenAI has a project called Sora, Sora, which will start to allow you to create videos directly from textual descriptions in a similar way that you can with images today. So Google that as well, OpenAI Sora. I know Google has something similar as well, Luca, that you're working on, which is also going to be quite interesting. But the power of multimodal is going to be really interesting because that will allow raw images and raw video to be created directly by the AI. And that's going to be quite game changing, especially if you in the higher ed space get into that and start understanding it. That could be very exciting for your end user experiences. Sorry about the long answer, but it's a topic that I'm really passionate about. But yeah, multimodal is the future of AI, at least this year, but that's going to evolve into interactive AI and AI agents as well. So check out that space if anyone wants to find out more. More to come in our
Great.
webinars in the future as well.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I think the important point there is that what we thought we knew about AI last year is now different this year, and we can probably expect the same amount of change in the next 1 or 2 years as well. This is definitely not a slow-moving space. Great. Next question I have actually for Luca. You touched on budgets, you touched on money. This is an interesting question though, and maybe you can't answer it. What's the right amount of money or the right proportion of budget maybe to spend on AdWords, on ads?
Oh, wow, Oliver, this is actually the holy grail question of digital marketing. We could ask a multimodal AI to provide an answer, maybe, right, Akbar? So it's a great question, actually, and it's not an easy one to answer straight. It's not an answer that can be straight because the budget allocation for ads is not a one size fits all topic, right? So in short, I would say that it would depend on your industry, on your industry benchmarks that, by the way, can be researched out there, right? So that is an important tip, like to research what is the industry benchmark in ad spending so that you can have some parameters to play with, but also what are your business goals, your company size, and other factors, right? Typically, I could say that very generically, businesses allocate 5 to 10% of their overall revenue into marketing efforts in general, right? And typically, taking all the businesses, right? This very generic information you can find in any business school marketing course, right? So typically within that marketing budget, the portion dedicated to advertising ranges in between 20, 50, 60%, right? Depending on even more, depending on what are the specific needs, goals, and status where your business is at, right? So to find what works best for you and your business. I would say it's suggested, as we touched base before in the presentation, starting with a reasonable budget that looks comfortable for you, and track your results closely using the measurement solutions that we were discussing about. These can be very helpful to to adopt a launch and iterate approach, an experimental approach, so that you can adjust your spending based on the actual performances of your campaigns. So you can consider factors such as your industry competitive landscape, your desired growth rate, the cost effectiveness of different advertising channels. And if you need assistance in optimizing the ad spend, your agency could be a valuable partner to provide guidance and expertise. And at the end, your ultimate goal is to find, as I was showing in the previous slide, to find that sweet spot where your advertising investments will yield the highest return of investment for you, while aligning with your overall business objectives. So a little bit long answer, but I hope it gives at least some food for thought on a very interesting and difficult question to answer straight away.
Yeah. No, I think it's good. It gives an approach to the question, even though I know reality is not every school is going to be able to spend the same amount on ads or to follow the same pattern. So good to know how to approach it. You also touched on the next question. This comes back to ROAS. You mentioned the importance of ROAS, this question of revenue on ad spend. In education, there's a long gap between a lead generated sometimes and an enrollment. This could be 1 or 2 years, and it's not always easy to say within that ad creation, we have an ad, we have an outcome. It doesn't necessarily match up to revenue earned. We can lose track. How would you recommend universities approach this if we really did want to have that ROAS calculation?
Yeah, you are right. The education segment is quite an interesting and particular segment. It reminds me of the real estate investment. When I buy a house, I never know if I'm gonna have a return of investment until a few years, right? And usually it happened both cases, positive or negative. Jokes apart, I would say that even looking at past performances could be an insight that can be taken in consideration on how to measure it for the future, or looking at the industry benchmarks, as I was describing earlier, could be another signal that can be taken into account. These are other of those questions that are not easy to answer in a black or white, straight manner. So I think experimentation is key. So maybe launching a marketing program for a couple of years, combining some past data that you have, and find your own perfect formula that probabilistically will approach your ideal idea of what is return for you, and also having very clear what you expect. Like I would ask, what would you expect as a return of your marketing investment ideally? Is your expectation realistic if we look the benchmark for education out there? This is what I would ask myself.
I got a couple of, thanks, Luca, for that. I've got a couple of euros as well, if I may. Euro cents, Oliver, if I may.
I was actually going to turn that one over to you as well, because of course,
yeah,
full fabric, you're dealing with, once that lead arrives, you manage that next 1-2 year process.
we do.
How
So
do you see this?
yeah, thanks, Oliver. And I know you're familiar with Full Fabric as well, having been a user in your former life as well. And for those of you who know Full Fabric will know this, which is Full Fabric is an end-to-end platform that, you know, nurtures the lead, but also converts the lead into an application. So we keep track of the full life cycle of that individual, from when they are a prospect to a lead, to when they become an actual applicant, to when they convert to a student as well. Now, a lot of our most sophisticated customers, what they do is they're leveraging something that's quite industry standard. And Luca, you'll know about this. And actually, Luca's the one who taught me about this many years ago, which is about UTM codes. So these are unique identifiers that you can attach to your links and URLs, whether it's in a newsletter that you're sending out, whether it's in online collateral that you're sharing. And the importance of this is that Full Fabric is able to connect with those UTM codes. So we collate and aggregate those unique UTM codes that you're sending to Full Fabric, and you're able to report on those as well. So we have something called lifecycle attribution reporting that allows you to look at specific profiles and say, aha, well, this student profile came to Full Fabric and applied through this campaign that had the following UTM code attached. And then you can actually see what happened to that particular lead when they came through that particular campaign that you may have run online, whether it's through a Google channel or another social media channel or something else, an email marketing campaign that you sent out. UTM codes are a really effective way of doing that. The good news in Full Fabric is that you can report on UTM codes. So we've been collecting anyone using UTM codes for a while, and you can now report on those as well, which is quite exciting. So that's one area, Oliver, that is effective, and you can actually see the conversion, whether that conversion is indicative of what we have in the higher education space, as you quite rightly mentioned. That can take, somebody might be looking into an MBA, and then life gets in the way, and then they decide to do it a couple of years later. You still have that profile. You can still see how they made that connection. What's really exciting as well, maybe not enough universities do this, is retargeting. So it comes back to the point that Luca and I made earlier, which is about using the first-party data that you've collected to retarget people once they've visited your website. And that doesn't actually cost much money. And if you do it in a smart way, it's actually free. So you can use online data management platforms with free ad servers like Google Ad Manager, which starts off free. And you can retarget your audiences in a very sophisticated way without paying much money, if at all any. Some of the upfront cost is hiring the expertise to set that up for you, but it just flows quite naturally, which is quite interesting. So something worth looking into. I know we're at time, so Oliver, let me pass the mic back to you.
Exactly. Yeah, that was really helpful. So thank you very much. I know that I also learned a few things. It's great to have an update on what's happening, especially with the analytics side. Fast moving. So just like to say thank you to our two guest speakers, Akbar and Luca. Thank you for your time. And yeah, I look forward to to seeing the next webinar.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here. Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Nice to see you. Bye.